Details of the project to connect four countries have been revealed. Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan shared details of the road and rail project that will connect Turkey, Syria, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia during a meeting with his Syrian counterpart. Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan met with Syrian Foreign Minister Esad Hasan Shaybani at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where Shaybani had arrived for official talks. At a joint press conference held following inter-delegation talks and the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the two countries, the course of bilateral relations, regional security, and steps toward economic integration were comprehensively discussed. Speaking at the meeting, Fidan emphasized the strategic cooperation between Turkey and Syria. The key points from Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan's remarks are as follows. The positive situation in Syria is the result of our joint efforts, which we have implemented together with a sense of regional ownership. As we have emphasized from time to time in the past, it is impossible for us to view the prosperity and stability of Turkey and Syria as separate from one another. We share not only a border of just over 900 kilometers, but also a common history, a common culture, and a common future. When Damascus, Aleppo, and Hama become more prosperous and secure, we immediately feel the impact in Gaziantep, Mersin, and Istanbul. Similarly, destabilizing activities occurring in any part of Syria also pose a threat to Turkey. With this understanding, we will further deepen our cooperation and coordination in the areas of counterterrorism, defense, and security. Ensuring that the ongoing integration process in Syria is brought to a successful conclusion without interruption remains a matter of importance and priority for our country. The integration of all armed groups and so-called organizations under a central and legitimate national structure is essential for Syria's unity and the stability of our region. Four-way logistics corridor. Distinguished members of the press, we are developing our economic relations with Syria in a manner suited to the needs of this new era, with the aim of increasing our bilateral trade volume. Our current priorities include streamlining customs procedures, expanding the capacity of border crossings, establishing banking channels, and harmonizing our transportation infrastructures. Our teams are working on these matters. Our public institutions and the private sector are also working to contribute to Syria's reconstruction, the development of its energy infrastructure, and the rehabilitation of its transportation system. We believe that regional projects will also play an important role in this regard. To give a concrete example in this context, the road and rail connectivity initiative we launched between Turkey, Syria, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia is also of exceptional importance in this regard. We have begun work to implement this strategic initiative as soon as possible, and we will continue to do so in accordance with the decision made by our leaders. A Turkish school is opening in Damascus. Numerous concrete projects in our bilateral relations are progressing rapidly. The necessary approval processes for opening a Turkish school in Damascus have been completed. We would like to thank them for this. We aim to have this school ready for the new academic year. Efforts to establish the Turkey-Syria Joint University have also accelerated. The healthcare sector is one of the areas where we are conducting the most intensive cooperation with Syria. In addition to numerous hospital projects, we are working to build Syria's healthcare infrastructure. As you know, the memorandum of understanding in this area was signed during our Minister of Health's visit to Syria in June. At the same time, we are striving to contribute to Syria's integration into the global financial system. Allowing the Central Bank of Syria to open a Turkish lira account with our central bank has been a very important step in this regard. In the coming period, we will continue to implement new projects aimed at further advancing Turkey-Syria relations. We hope the Hormuz Strait will reopen at today's meeting. We also had the opportunity to discuss regional issues. Of course, we are naturally pleased with the statements indicating that negotiations between the United States and Iran may resume. We hope that a ceasefire will be reestablished and the Strait of Hormuz will be reopened as soon as possible. We will continue our contributions in this regard. At this stage, we remain committed to supporting the talks. We would like to take this opportunity to emphasize one point. Syria has emerged as a country that has contributed to maintaining stability in our region throughout the war. This is particularly worth noting. Therefore, safeguarding Syria's security and peace is a shared responsibility for all of us as countries in the region. The Israeli government is sabotaging peace efforts on the other hand. Israel's attacks targeting Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity constitute one of the most serious threats to the country's stability. The international community must respond more forcefully to Israel's occupying mentality. It must exert the necessary pressure to ensure compliance with the 1974 Disengagement of Forces Agreement and respect for Syria's sovereignty. Dear friends, my esteemed colleague and I also discussed the situation in Palestine and Lebanon in detail. As you know, Lebanon is their immediate neighbor. Everything that happens there concerns them closely. And it concerns us as well. U.S. President Trump had announced that an agreement had been reached on the roadmap for the second phase of the peace plan. The fact that Israel continues its attacks despite this has once again demonstrated that Netanyahu does not want peace. The Israeli government aims to sabotage peace efforts and sever the Palestinians from Gaza. This objective has not changed. It is striving, if possible, to turn Gaza into a place without Palestinians, a place where they cannot live. However, Netanyahu will not succeed in this policy. The people of Gaza will continue to live in Gaza and build their future. Indeed, standing against the Israeli occupier are brave Palestinians defending their homeland and an international community that is increasingly coming to understand the truth. At this juncture, there is no alternative but to make the ceasefire in Gaza permanent, move to the second phase of the peace plan, and launch the reconstruction process. On the other hand, we are witnessing the Netanyahu government intensifying its acts of terrorism in the West Bank and Jerusalem as well. As you know, we held an important meeting in Amman yesterday. There, with the participation of nearly 20 countries from the Islamic world, we discussed collective measures that could be taken against Israel's aggressive actions targeting the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Syria. We have achieved major breakthroughs with Turkey in a short period speaking. After Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan at a joint press conference, Syrian Foreign Minister Esad Hasan Shaybani highlighted the significance of the current state of bilateral relations, noting, first, I would like to thank my dear brother, Mr. Hakan, for his warm welcome and hospitality. We have truly conducted in-depth work. Together with our brothers in Turkey, we have made major strides in a short time. Today, we once again focused on our partnerships and institutional cooperation. As you know, our high-level strategic relations and political ties have now been translated into practical projects and will continue to do so. This will benefit the entire region. There is a coordination committee between the two countries. We discuss all our issues across all common areas.